I've been privileged to serve on the Branch Professionalism Committee, Award Committee for many years now. Brian Beverly, who is the current chair, developed a conflict today, and so he could not be there. But I'm really honored to be able to do this for the committee, and particularly given the nominee, Celia Pistolis. I want to start out, though, by just recognizing Jim Branch, who is the son of Chief Justice Branch, and also just I've been coming to these for about 25 years, most every year, and Jim has been here almost every time, and we really appreciate you taking the time and effort to come to represent the family and really just to recognize the essential contribution of your father to professionalism within this bar and among the state, which is at least as important now as it was when he was serving. So thank you so much for being here. Also, just want to thank the former award winners who are here today. The list has gotten so long we can't read them anymore, but we appreciate everybody who can make it and everybody who couldn't make it. It is really nice to have you all here. I do want to also, as most everybody here knows, the Branch Professionalism Award is really the highest honor that this bar gives to its members who have served for at least 25 years. And it's widely recognized. And we use a number of criteria when we sit down. We sit down as committee once a year, and we have, it's one of those situations where there are always difficult choices, but all of the choices are good. So you can never make a bad choice because there are really some very deserving people that get nominated every year. But we use some criteria in selecting that, and I just want to mention it briefly before I transition over to the speaker. The criteria that we use are contribution to the general practice of law, service to clients, service to the community, service to the bar and relationship with lawyers, quality of legal product, reputation among peers, ethical standards, and role model for lawyers and citizenship. And I mention those because I've known this year's 2025 award winner almost my entire career. I met Celia back in 1997 when she was volunteering to serve on a committee of the state bar that I was serving as counsel to. And she would consistently, even as a volunteer, show up incredibly prepared, ready to discuss it, ready to protect the public, always had a grasp on all the issues. And I've been fortunate enough to work with her in various capacities. And really what struck me when I read this list again is that she really exemplifies every one of those criteria. She spent her entire career serving the public, serving desperately needy clients. She's been actively involved in the bar in various different capacities here at the state bar level, everywhere. And there really isn't anything on this list that she does not exemplify. And although I could go on and talk about Celia for a long time, I'm not going to because Celia has asked, and I want to recognize George Housen to come in and make remarks on Celia's behalf. Thank you, George. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon to all the public officials here, the previous Branch Award winners, members, and guests. Usually when I start speaking, people start to leave, so the Chief District Clerk, Claudia, is going to bar the door here if you try to escape before I'm finished. Again, I'm George Housen. I have the privilege and pleasure today of introducing to you the recipient of the 2025 Joseph Branch Professionalism Award, my friend and colleague, Celia Pistolis. When we speak of professionalism, we mean a lawyer's dedication and commitment to the highest ideals of integrity, competence, civility, public service. And within these virtues, if you will, we aspire to honesty, diligence, courtesy, confidentiality, independence of judgment, and generally enhancing the administration of justice, virtues to which we all aspire as our dues for the privilege of practicing in this profession. Well, Celia Pistolis checks all these boxes professionally and personally and more. And you know, also in the Bar Association here, we present these awards to those exemplary individuals who we recognize as embodying the highest ideals of our profession. But these presentations also present a reminder they serve as a reminder to us so that when we're looking in the mirror each morning, we're saying to ourselves and thinking, how will I advance integrity? How will I advance competence and civility in the administration of justice today? That's the importance of these events, is to ensure that our profession, our noble profession, is held in the highest esteem at all times and throughout the public. But let me focus for a moment on that last virtue, the administration of justice. Because when we're speaking of Celia's working life, it's Legal Aid of North Carolina. Legal Aid of North Carolina, the successor organization to Legal Services of North Carolina, was created by the Bar Association. Right? It's a product, the progeny, the product of members of the bar who felt the need to serve the poor. That was back in 1974. And each year, Lance receives about 300,000 requests for legal service. 300,000 from all 100 counties, from all rural and urban areas, cities and towns, because of this, and because of the extremely tight regulatory restrictions on what, how, and whom can be served by legal aid, and along with the extreme paucity of resources that face that work that they're able to get, Lance triages those 300,000 to about 25,000 actual cases, still an enormous number, an overwhelming number that represents just pure misery and desperation in our state. And it's legal aid that gets involved in the loss of housing, the arbitrary loss of public benefits like SNAP, domestic violence, disaster assistance, and a whole host of other things. Nothing extravagant. We're talking about basic needs. Only the essential basic needs is what's being represented. And Celia has been a leader throughout her career, making sure that while our advocates are always aspiring to improve their competence and capabilities, meaning the quality of the legal work is as high as it can be, she has been the main go-to person, the essential resource throughout her career on the ability of Lance advocates to meet not only their professional responsibilities, but also at the same time to make sure that the organization is protected in exercising its very complex and draconian regulatory restrictions that prevent us from doing a wide range of things that we're often accused of at legal aid. And those elements exist in each of those 25,000 cases, and it's Celia at the top who sets the tone for compliance and the guidelines. It's an important job in ensuring that those funds continue to flow, that paucity of funds continue to flow. And look, as was noted, Celia is brilliant at her job. She is as client-centered as anyone can be. And the enormous demand for basic human needs, the egregious federal restrictions, and the meager funds mean that there's no room, as the myth seems to percolate, there's no room for us to be tilting at windmills or having crusades or frivolity in the work at legal aid. Although the myth persists that legal aid lawyers are some have said, overzealous social justice warriors. Now, there's some truth to that taxonomy, but scratch a random legal aid lawyer, and they're as likely to admit red-blooded equal justice under the law of blood as they are Sermon on the Mount blood, right? We have a wide range of political views and reasons for people to do this important work. And let me just say, those 300,000 cases, as an aside, Ashley Campbell and her team sitting over here have done an outstanding job, but I need to tell you, and as you already know, it's all in jeopardy at this point. And as the bar, as the progenitors and the creators of this work, and adherence to Rule 6.1 and to the administration of justice, need to continue playing an essential part of the responsibility and do all that it can in this moment to keep Ashley and her team. Ashley, you want to stand up for a minute here and let everybody know, the former president of the bar here? It's important that you all stay involved and make sure that this work can continue. Because again, we're talking about 300,000 people, 25,000 cases. We don't wring our hands for the 25,000 who are able to get the lawyer. It's for the $250,000 people who are losing their benefits, who are losing their homes, who we are not able to help. So we need to not lose this funding. We need to expand it. We need to continue to fight for that. All right. Thank you for that. But now back to Celia. Celia has Greek ancestry, and she studied classics at Chapel Hill. So while we social justice warriors have Noam Chomsky and the Gospels of Matthew and Psalm 39, 37 in our places, in our hearts, part of her own motivation, I'm sure, comes from Pericles, who said that the disgrace of poverty is not the fact of it, but in declining the struggle against it. And Celia Pistolis has been active and influential and a leader in that struggle for 40 years. Think about it, 40 years. She is an exceptional advocate in her own right, but she combines that skill and competence with a fierce understanding of and adherence to our ethics and professional responsibilities. She has always actively participated on bar committees. She nurtures new talent like a mother hen. She's a recognized expert on the arcane mysteries of federal compliance, and she continues to be indefatigable and always willing to take the next request for her help, never turning down anybody. And she does all of this hard work while maintaining a graciousness and generosity of spirit in her personal deportment that is singular. Think about her past and ongoing impact. This is important. The 500,000 households that she has served, that legal aid has served, that she's played an important role in just over the last 20 years. 500,000 households that are in a different place today because of the ingredients that she's put into the work here. And think about the hundreds of advocates that she's inspired and mentored who will take her example forward. It's really an extraordinary contribution to our work and to society in general. So this award is very pertinent and appropriate. And I suppose we should attribute some of that good character to her mother, may she rest in peace, I loved her dearly, and father, Greek immigrants who ran a diner, think comfort food, in little beautiful Tarboro, North Carolina. The restaurant business, as you may know, is a hard row to hoe, and Celia learned those virtues of hard work and contributed her share to the restaurant work. I also, however, think she was blessed with some exceptional mentors and models along the rocky road of legal aid. Think about this. She was hired and initially supervised by our own Victor Boone, who's here with us today, an icon in our state's bar. And really one of the finest persons you're ever likely to meet. Thank you, Victor. Now, there's also an assorted other saints that I should talk about. And we had a moment of silence, but I will, I'm sorry to say that Janet Ward Black passed away this last weekend. And she was also an icon and such a strong supporter for legal aid and the work we do and the women in the bar. And so she's an irreplaceable loss to the bar and to our profession. So I haven't heard about any services for her yet, but I know they're upcoming, and I hope people will pay attention to that. And there are others beyond Janet Ward Black, Alice Mine, Evelyn Pursley, Robin Hudson, John McMillan, Deborah Greenblatt, Ted Follett, among many other sainted people in our profession who inspired her and influenced her to be great. And the eternal spirit striving for excellence probably came on her own. It's her nature to strive and be excellent. How could she not be brilliant given all of that? Well, there you have it. There's so much more that should be said. There's so much more that should be said, and better. But Thucydides, another Greek classic here, Celia, also said that we can endure to hear others praised only so long as they can severally persuade themselves of their own ability to equal the actions recounted. It's something, professionalism is something we all should aspire to, and Celia Pistolis is a great model for us. So please join me in applauding and celebrating the singular career of an outstanding lawyer in person, a true example and model of professionalism, Celia Pistolis.
Thank you, George. Can you hear me? I hope I can get through this without getting too emotional, but I am emotional. This is a great honor. I know it's our bar's highest honor, and it's especially meaningful to me because it's during our centennial year. And I'll have to be honest, when Doug called me to tell me I was selected, I was shocked. I still wonder why me, because I look around this room and I see so many of you who are just as deserving. I'm truly humbled to be recognized by you, my peers, you who know the demands and the pressures of our practice and the deep responsibility that comes with our oath. We all swear to it when we are joining this profession. I'm profoundly grateful to the bar and want to recognize my legal aid colleagues who are here, particularly Ashley, for having nominated me, and to my family, my husband who is here, who has given me such love and support over so many years. I also want to express a special debt of gratitude to two people without whom I would not be standing here. One is Greg Malhoit, and the other, of course, is Victor Boone. These are two former legal aid lawyers whom I greatly admire and who taught me so much. Greg first hired me as a temporary attorney to fill in for Carol Spruill, who's a phenomenal attorney in her own right, because she was on maternity leave. So I got my first break because of a mother. So I guess I should, I don't know if Jack Nichols is here, but I should probably send out an extra thank you to Carol and her husband, Jack Nichols, for their impeccable timing. That led to my good fortune. So within the first 5 or so years of my practice, Greg gave me some incredible opportunities. I participated in class actions. George mentioned the restrictions that we have. And restriction is now we don't handle class actions. But in those days, we were more like the rest of you lawyers and could do what we needed to do to represent our clients. And class actions was one of those things. And I also had the opportunity to do some appeals at both our state court and also at the Fourth Circuit. And so I learned from him early on what it means to be a good lawyer and to serve our clients. And early on, he also told me one thing. And he told me here at East Central, because that's what the Raleigh office was called in those days, East Central Community Legal Services. I can still remember it. I can still even remember the phone number. And he said, here at East Central, we handle cases, not causes. And that phrase still resonates with me today. And I have shamelessly repeated it many times and never given him credit for it. And from Vic, whom we all know and hold in highest esteem and regard, I learned just as much. He reviewed and edited my pleadings, my memos, my briefs. He listened to my arguments. He let me make my share of mistakes because I knew he always had my back. And he taught me that as legal aid lawyers, we always take the high road, even when others may not. And I've also learned a great deal from so many other lawyers, some of whom are in this room. George, my legal aid colleagues with whom I co-counseled, opposing counsel, whom I tried cases against, and pro bono volunteers who shared their knowledge and expertise whenever I just gave them a call and made the ask. That's the kind of lawyers this bar has. As a career legal aid lawyer, I've had the privilege of representing clients who have felt unseen, unheard, uncertain about where to turn, and frustrated by the systems we created to protect their rights. Their cases have rarely been glamorous, and the hours have rarely been short, but I can say the work has always, always been meaningful to me. Each client, each family who placed their trust in me reminded me why I chose this path. It's about standing beside clients who face the possibility of losing basic necessities, which we in this room all take for granted: food, shelter, safety, medical care. And I was able to help them not only see, but experience that the promise of justice and fairness is actually real. To this day, I am in awe of our clients and our staff. They inspire me daily. Our clients who continue to remain resilient in spite of a government that has made their lives harder and pushed them deeper into poverty. And our staff who show up every day to serve our clients with unmatched passion and skill. As a proud member of this bar, I can say without any hesitation that the Wake County Bar has long embodied what is the best in our profession. Though we practice in different areas and we all come from different backgrounds, we share a common purpose as Wake County lawyers: a commitment to justice, fairness, and professionalism. Our professionalism creed, and we had the amazing experience to recommit to that creed this past summer, and it was a quite extraordinary experience, and I was so happy to be a part of it. And I want to say there are 4 sentences in that creed that really express the values that have guided me throughout my career. My word is my bond. Integrity is absolute. Fairness and civility are essential. Financial considerations will never override my professional responsibility. It's these values that have guided my career, and I assume everybody who sits in this room. It's service, not profit, that must be the lawyer's true motivator. And being a good lawyer isn't just about winning cases, although I have to admit, I really hate to lose. It's about standing beside those who might otherwise stand alone, making sure that the rule of law protects everybody, not just those who have power and money. As lawyers, we are all stewards of something larger than ourselves: the rule of law, the trust of the public, and the belief that justice should be accessible to all. I feel very privileged to work among you, the best lawyers in North Carolina, hands down. You strive to uphold the rule of law, and you strive to make justice for all a reality within your practices and through your support of legal aid. I will continue to do my best to live up to the values that this award represents, and I ask that you all do the same. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for this incredible honor. I am so proud to be one of you.
Sia, I feel very confident in saying that there is not a person in this room who doesn't see why you deserve this award. You personify everything that is good about the Wake County Bar, and we appreciate you and all that you do.